Hello everyone, welcome to Colour Me In, a podcast with Peter Sylvester, founder of Integrus Global and the Harley Guy. So you have a DISC report, what next? Colour Me In is all about using DISC behavioural styles to get results, build a dynamic team, deepen relationships and enhance your processes. When you do this, you will achieve your success in life and business. Hello everybody, my name is Julian Lewis. I'm a founding partner of Integrus Global and the host of the podcast Colour Me In. Welcome to episode 12 and I'm very excited about this episode. It includes the phrase, the B2B Tinder of the travel industry, and I can't wait to hear all about how that phrase is got into the podcast. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to the founder of Integrus Global, Peter Sylvester. Hello, Peter. How are you doing, and what colour are you feeling today?
Well, thanks, Jules. I'm actually feeling quite green in my colour approach today because I've got a really great guest with me all the way from Mallorca, the sunny island of Mallorca. And I want to introduce everybody to Jose Diaz Ruiz. Now, Jose, let's just make sure of the pronunciation of your name, sir. Are you a Jose? Are you a Josie? Or what? How do you like to be referred to?
Jose is perfect, and although you can say Josie, Joe, whenever you want, whenever you feel more comfortable with. But let's say Jose, it's the right one.
Okay, Jose. Okay, so Jose, thank you very much for joining us on this podcast. Now, I know you're a very successful entrepreneur in your own right. And I also know that you've been impacted recently by this COVID situation. So before we talk about how you are adapting to the pressures and the changes which COVID have brought up with us all, can you give our listener a little bit of a background about you and your business? Just share a few of your backgrounds, if you would, for us.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. It's a great honor to be part of it. And well, I'm the CCO, which basically makes I'm taking care of sales of a tech company based here in Mallorca. Our name is TravelgateX, and we play in the B2B travel industry, playing like as I said, technological panel, like a hub connection, putting in contact tour operators and all the online travel agencies with their suppliers. So when you go to On the Beach or Love Holidays or all those players, and you have thousands of possibilities for a hotel just a click away. And we are the company that is helping those guys to be able to offer you so many possibilities.
Okay. So you're B2B then, you operate in the B2B market. You're not a consolidator with the consumer or anything like that, no?
Yeah, we play B2B. We have partners in more than 30 countries around the globe. We could be anywhere because most of the business, our business we do is through on internet. Everything is online.
I see. So you're actually a sort of a hub for B2B businesses which are involved in the travel industry or the hotel industry.
We are basically 100% in the travel industry. We are so specialized. There's just a few players like us in the globe, and the fact to be so specialized being one of the secret weapons to be so successful. We started in 2012, and in those 8 years we have managed to grow, and now we are. Well, when pre-COVID we were something like 120 people, slightly less now. But still very successful with a lot of energy to move on.
Okay, so how many partners in different markets do you have operating at the moment then?
Well, we have something like almost 400 B2B buyers, what we call like tour operators, online travel agencies. We have people like British Airways Holidays or Expedia or Booking.com, people like this, around 400 players on the buying side. And we have something like 700 suppliers always on the companies that are working with us. So we like a sort of a matrix, like a marketplace, like the B2B Amazon, helping them to interact with each other.
A B2B Amazon, a B2B Amazon. That's fantastic.
There's another joke we use to try to explain this to people that are not really familiar with it, which is we are somehow the B2B Tinder of the travel industry, helping people interact with each other.
Right. Okay. So obviously then, with all of the lockdown and the restrictions on travel, which COVID has brought to us, that must have pressured you and your business recently and in the last few months.
It's been hard. It's been hard. It's been now 9 months since everything, since the nightmare started. And I have to say that there has been some pros and cons, and bad things and good things. So at the very beginning, we asked people to reduce their salaries in order to be able to get by, and everything was very restrictive. After a few weeks, it was obvious that it was more serious than we thought initially. So then we started to basically get some people apart and just focus on and keep just a portion of the people that are on the company. So it was really hard. Obviously, as any other company, we try to focus on getting the necessary cash to survive. It was the case. We had a very healthy financial situation, and has helped us within those 2 months. I have to say that the first couple of months, so the fact to be so dependent on the travel industry, it played initially as a weak point of us, and we got to like 12 or 15% of what we used to do the same period the prior year. After a few months, we recovered somehow, and we managed to end up the year at 60% of what we used to do in 2019, which is not a bad thing, or such a bad thing, taking into consideration all those the challenges around us. Something that helped us is to be really diversified. So
diversify.
Yeah.
So you had to change your business plan, did you, so that you could diversify into other markets or other routes to market? Just explain that. We have a lot of business owners on this who listen to this podcast, and therefore they will be going through the same sort of challenges that you're describing, Jose, about how you've had to think you can survive initially with just making some little changes, but then as it continues, they've had to make some more substantial changes. Just share with us how you've had to change your business plan then.
Well, a few elements we have to learn very, very quickly. One of them was some businesses or some partners were behaving better than others. So those that are, for instance, based in the States, in China, in Asia, were like that could be we understood that we have to focus our resources in those players that were working better. So, and this was a way to get additional business that it wouldn't have been the case otherwise. And something that we learned within this process is, those are the circumstances. There are things that we can do and things that we cannot do. So let's focus on we are in what we can do. And we ended up improving the back office. We implemented the kind of things that we have never had time for, like implementing a CRM, doing an analysis, being more efficient. These are the kind of things that we have never had time for. And the thing is, it was a way for us to be even better, in a better position for once we somehow are back to normal.
So you actually found the time to do some of the blue actions that you didn't normally, and the analytical actions I'm talking about, which is blue.
For me, it being so red, it wasn't obvious, but I have to say that we learned from it. We act very quickly, and it's been a great learning curve, to be honest.
Yeah. Great. I think that's one of the things that we found with a lot of business people who we're working with at the moment is they have to be agile and nimble. You can't just sort of hunker down and wait for the storm to pass, because the storm has kept on coming backwards and forwards. Therefore, you need to be agile, you need to be nimble, and like you just said, you need to sit down and review what you currently have and see how you can make it more efficient and more effective. And that's definitely a blue basis for the thing. So that's really interesting. And obviously now we're still in this, I don't know if we're in a second wave or third wave of coronavirus, but either way, it sounds as though you are. Do you go through that review process now on a regular basis?
Yes, yeah, we are absolutely still on this process, because it's a sort of a ongoing process. It's and the blue kind of actions where you have to do the homework of, getting a more efficient layout in your company. It takes time. It takes time. It's not something that you can cover overnight. So and also something we are working on is to try to implement it so that everyone is aware of it. So I'm talking about training people, getting more qualified. I think I'm sure we're gonna get out of this successfully, but it's gonna be different. So the people that we're gonna have on our in the company, it's gonna be lower. Fewer people, but they have to be the best. So
just explain that a little further for me, if you would. So you're saying that you're having to share this new vision with the people inside your company, or with the people outside your company, or what do you mean when you say share people?
So we have been able to get the time to train people, so they can get they can show the very best version of themselves. And I'm talking about the employees, and also we're taking advantage of our closed network of partners to work on also on the way we work with them. So volume of business will come some eventually, but in the meantime, let's focus on resources on getting a better relationship and working better.
Okay, so just to be clear for the people on the call here, so this is not just the employees in your business. You're talking about your network of partners who are going to help you with the outside world and so on. You share your vision and your changes with them as well on a regular basis.
Exactly. So we're not no one without our network. So being a marketplace is employee, but the stakeholders around you are everything.
Indeed. Okay. Well, I know you're a member of the Integrus community. Now, just share with us, how did you find out about Integrus, and where were you? When were you? Give us some of the background about your discovery of Integrus.
Well, I think first of all, I have to say that I'm a very restless kind of person. So I'm always finding ways to go up. And it was a sort of a coincidence, because I saw the profile in LinkedIn of a good friend I knew from many years ago, Andres Garcia, somebody that I really trust. And the guy was showing in his profile a very colorful logo, and very even a more interesting kind of name, with a sort of a inspirationalist. Something very
inspirationalist. So this is interesting. For those on the call who don't know Andreas is our inspirationalist based out of Madrid, and it's really interesting, isn't it, that you knew him, and therefore he's the one who created the interest for you in the Integrus movement.
Yeah, it's something that was very curious, and then as a good way one, I just called him and said, "Hey, let's catch up. I want to know more about what you're doing." And the guy was telling me that he's been having a great time, and somehow complementing his expertise with a new methodology. And I said, "Well, I want to know more about this." And then I was invited to one of the first academies in Spain as a way to get get a first touch of the Integrus colors methodology, and it was my first. I wasn't really aware of any. I was really somehow familiarized with the disc methodology, but nothing. Not really an expert.
So
So that's
when you sat the academy then, and you just mentioned two things there which are really important. One is the academy, and the second is the DISC mental approach, or the DISC way, the DISC thinking. But we, of course, link those together through colors. What was your initial thinking, your initial reaction when you sat the academy and everyone in the room is talking about colors? How did you react to that?
Well, first of all, I was curious about what the color I was. So Integrus allowed me to know better myself, and not only myself, but also my kids and my colleagues. For those that are not entirely aware of it, I'm working in technology where almost everyone is blue, meaning very protocolarial, analytical, and so on. Whereas I'm red, straightforward and action oriented. So for me, it was like wow, that's a feature I have never really used, and it's bring me some tools in order to get the most of my relationship with everyone around me.
So with the people around you, then did you start to say, oh, hang on, this partner that I'm working with, not the people in your business, the technology, but this other B2B contact that I've had, that's a red person or a yellow person? Or did you start that process of doing that?
It's like putting your some glasses where you can start seeing things that you haven't seen before. So and allow me to understand some of the behaviors of partners I wasn't really understanding before. So I was like, oh, that explains the way he's reacting, or the way he's behaving. It's because he's a green or a yellow and it was quite interesting for me to get a full understanding, a better knowledge of myself, and obviously in the way you behave, having this filter is allow you to get the most out of this, to be more efficient. Because the thing is, if you behave in a certain way with somebody which is in a certain color, you're gonna get straight to the point. The way you talk to them is gonna be more efficient. You're gonna manage to make them feel better. And at the end of the day, it was really like discovering a new.
It's amazing, isn't it? When you start to discover, you put your spectacles on, put your glasses on, and you can see different people and different behaviors in different people. Now, as a red, how did that work for you then? I mean, you were suddenly starting to see indicators in other people, and how did that work for you as a red? Because as a red, you're very driven, very focused on results and so on. I can see you're smiling now. I just share with us how that worked for you.
Let me share something with you very, very personal. I have a couple of kids. They are 17 and 14, so in the middle of purely teenagers. And the fact, one of them is purely blue and the other is purely yellow. I said, now it's I would say this has helped me or this is helping me to behave so that we understand better each other. So the good point of Integrus course is helping you from a 360 kind of approach, where it's not only helping you on the professional side, but also on the personal side. So I think it's quite integrated. Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting, because a lot of people would join the academy with a view to it helping to change the way they operate in their business. But what you're saying, Jose, is very similar to what a lot of other people say, is that once you understand the colors, then it changes the way you interact, not just in your business, but with your family and with your personal contacts. Is that something you obviously just found that with your children?
Absolutely. This is something, but this is for my kids. But the academy it's a way to know better yourself, and to use the world around you, everything around you in a different way. So that, and then it's up to you to decide the different tools that you have in order to behave, to be more efficient or more productive or more or happier, or it's up to you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would say that for those that are joining the academy, that are this is helping any entrepreneur to where things both professional and personal are somehow mixed, to manage to have a better balance.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know that we talk about a life blend in our one of our programs is the life blend, which is, people say to me that, well, it's all about work-life balance. And when people say it's about work-life balance, that suggests to me that you have to stop doing one thing to start doing the other. But I don't buy that. I don't think that's correct. I think you can continue to do both. You just make them blend together better. Is that, I mean, you obviously discovered that on the personal side. I mean, have you found it in the business side as well?
I wish it was so simple. As I stopped I stopped these kind of things to be better than those others. I think that as an entrepreneur, you have to be 120% of each time dedicated to both professional and personal life. So you better find a way to deal with them in a not such an ascetical way. So they're going to be mixed. So to be the self-awareness, to be aware of how to deal with those aspects, so that you're not overwhelmed, it's crucial. Yeah. And there is very useful to deal with this.
Yeah. And one of the things that people like yourself who are red have said that they found that they can get the results, which is what they're driven towards, getting the results. But they've also started to build relationships with other businesses who are in their connections that they hadn't expected to. Is that something you've experienced so far, that some of the conversations you're having with your business contacts have started to take a completely different way in terms of relationships or better understanding of each other? Is that something you've noticed?
Yeah, I think you have a different point of view to what you have had so far in a different way. It's a matter of it's a trigger for new opportunities. So and that's crucial to keep going. It's you go with the same approach, you're not going to get new opportunities. Whereas if you think differently, when you look at your approach is different, many opportunities are going to come up. And I think I'm joining this new way to do it.
So it's helping you, is it, on a personal basis to develop yourself? I mean, your personal strength would be what would you describe as your personal strength?
Not all my weaknesses. I have to say that I'm very I don't know how to say that. I mean, perseverance and work hard are as a marathoner. I have created this endurance ability to approach things. So I think that I would say that I'm a little bit the square hair, to be honest, like a very determined. I guess those are the aspects that are my secret weapons to get the most out of my day.
Yes, very good. And you started to blend in the other approaches with your individual, your personal approach then to suit the other people who you're meeting in your day-to-day activities then. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the what I'm trying to do on a daily basis. So not to see things in a different way.
Right. So tell me now, in terms of the next steps for your Integrus journey, what's next for you? What lies ahead for you? I mean, we obviously we're all waiting and holding our breath about what's going to happen with COVID. So what's your plan for your next steps on the Integrus journey?
That's having approached the Integrus School with academy and having the basics, still a lot to learn, to be honest, but having some basics that are allowing me to get by in a different way. I think that right now I have to keep this learning process. And I think that something that I discovered after academy is that once you have created this space where on a weekly basis you join some of the people positive and willing, and somehow when you finished, you learn, and I mean, there is a space like a whole of inquietudes that are not covered. And I think that the Círculos de Éxito, the mastermind tool, is something that I found very interesting, because it allows you to treasure somehow what you've learned.
Yeah. So just to explain for our listeners, the academy is only one phase of the learning that we go through, and the next phase is the Círculos de Éxito, the success circles or the mastermind programs, which help everybody to take the knowledge that they now have in a great team environment and to start to apply it. And that's where you are now, isn't it? You're in that phase.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm investing part of my time with some other entrepreneurs that are sharing with each other our inquietudes, our challenges, and also our success points.
Just share with me the value you get about sharing your successes with the other group, and also hearing the other group members then share their successes with you. I mean, what's the point of that for you?
Well, the thing is, I think that entrepreneurs and small and medium companies have there is an emptiness of managers that are not really. They may have their steering committees and so on, but the fact to find people with your inquietudes, you can share just your inquietudes and your everything within in a atmosphere of intimate to a certain point when you can share. They can gonna give you ideas. It's a sort of a mutual coaching that is very, very helpful. So then we have the one-to-ones with each other. I think it's a process where you can find the next steps to grow your business and to keep growing as a professional, and also on the personal side. So I'm joining this community, having this in the middle of this process now, trying to do. I mean, it's a mutual. It's giving and obtaining. So, and I think that you get to the point where I have managed to get to the point where I want to participate in making this and sharing this way of working and growing up with other people that I know.
It sounds to me, Jose, that you are well on the road to becoming an inspirationalist, just like Andreas was an inspirationalist to you. You are looking to become an inspirationalist for others around you in your contact sphere.
That's a good plan. Although I still have a lot to learn. Yeah. But I think that is very rewarding somehow to help people, and that's what I like.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And just to be clear, I mean, for everybody, you never finish learning. There's always new stuff to learn. There's new material. There's new circumstances that you can learn from. So the learning process and the application process of that learning is never finished. It's a continual road, and I think it's really great. So what just as we close this conversation now, Jose, what one thing would you say to a business leader who is facing up to the challenges that we've all been facing up to over the last 12 months? What one thing would you say to that person that will encourage them to do whatever they need to do to come through 2021 and to find their way through this circumstance? What would you say to them? What one thing?
I would say, if you want to keep growing up on a professional and on a personal level, join Integrus course. I think that's what I would say. It's not only a matter of getting more business, but also join the joy and the teamwork of a team that's going to be helping you as well as the other way around. So it's that's what I would say to somebody as a suggestion to join our groups.
Very good. Okay. Well, listen, that's a great way to finish. Thank you very much for that. And I just wish I was there in a somewhat warmer climate of Mallorca than I am here in the UK at the moment. But congratulations on your change, your transition from the difficult situation you obviously found yourself in. Well done. Congratulations. And I want to thank you for sharing your insights into the business, into the insights into you, and the secret you just shared with me about your children. Believe me, that won't go anywhere else. No one else will hear that on this podcast. So, Jose, thank you very much. And Julian, this guy is an inspiration to me, and I'm sure that as soon as we possibly can, we will be getting out to Mallorca to host an event out there as well. So I wonder, Jose, if you know anybody who's in the events business who can help us to host an event in Mallorca at some stage in the...
That's a deal.
It's a deal. Okay, Jose, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast. Julian, back to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Peter. A fascinating interview. Again, I was particularly impressed with the way that Jose was talking about improving processes and systems in a time when other things could not be done, and that's a very impressive approach to making sure that your company thrives. I'm sure we're going to be speaking to you again, Jose, as the podcast develops. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening to episode 12. We will see you on the next podcast. Thank you. Colour Me In is all about using your disc report, or colours as we call it in Integrus. If you do not yet have a disc report or a colours report from Integrus Global, you can get a free one from integruscolors.com. Just click on Start Here on that website. Please subscribe or follow to our podcasts so you can catch up on all our future episodes on success in life and business using your disc profile.